Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights o'er the ramparts we watched were so gatheredly streaming, and the rockets rang glare, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may sit down now.
Patriotism, devoted love, support, and defense of one's country. National loyalty. That is how the word patriotism is defined. But what does the word patriotism actually stand for? To me, it means honor and respect to our country, and to the men and women who sacrifice it all so that we can sit here today and be able to enjoy our everyday lives that most people take advantage of. We get an education, freedom of speech, and freedom of religion. We can go to the grocery store and purchase food freely. These are everyday things that we take advantage of. No one really stops and thinks how lucky and fortunate we are because we were not the ones who put our lives on the line. I had the chance to go to Washington, D.C. with 82 World War II veterans. When we stopped at the Korean Memorial, I could see the pain and the memories in the veterans' eyes as I walked along the wall and saw the faces of all the men and women who were lost in combat. It impacted me the most because these veterans went through so much pain. They have seen people's lives taken from them, and I have taken advantage of all their sacrifices. So remember, every day when you wake up and come to school and hang out with your friends, it's only because of the brave men and women who put their blood, sweat, and tears in protecting your freedom. So next time you see a veteran, by all means, get up and go thank them, because without them, you wouldn't be here today.
Veterans Day. Is it just a day to say thank you? We have traveled hundreds of miles and spent countless hours with many types of veterans who have all been in different wars and seen things that are beyond comprehension.
Gun got was a few of our boys, and And then on the way to knocking out the machine gun, I got wounded. And finally, I took care of the machine gun, but then I went to the hospital.
We have many family members in the conflict. They're losing their lives. Some of these men are leaving a wife and as many as 3 or 4 children.
The ultimate sacrifices have been made, being away from your loved ones and missing holidays so that this great country can be free. But it's the citizens that make veterans feel important. Everyday people, patriots. But what does patriotism mean to those in the service?
It's why I serve. I serve so that these individuals, who I may or may not agree with, can have the freedom to voice their opinion and live the way they would like to live in this great country of ours.
When I put my hand on my heart and I say the Pledge of Allegiance, I remember the men and the women that I've talked to and that I know that have served and served all over the world. And I remember the sacrifices that they made. That's what I remember. And I have had several friends who've died, some from the wounds they've suffered, some from just old age. But the one thing that I remember is that even as bad health as a lot of my veterans are in, whenever they hear the national anthem or they do the Pledge of Allegiance, their head comes up and their eyes brighten and their hands over their heart. And they mean it when they say it, because they know what it's like to be in a country where freedom and patriotism is frowned on.
Some gave all and all gave some. And that's as true as it can be. Everybody that was in the military, regardless of where they were at or when they were in, did their part. They all gave what they could, and some gave the ultimate.
Very important too, just for the American people, because a lot of people don't have exposure to military and don't really know, aren't really taught kind of these sacrifices that veterans did give, or active duty military are giving now. A lot of people just aren't aware, so to me it's good to have a day to remember that.
I served for you.
So you didn't have to. And I would do it again.
So remember, the next time you see a veteran, walk up to them and say thank you, because they served for you.
So you wouldn't have to. And I'd gladly do it again.
The 6th hour guest is unfortunately unable to attend because of last-minute emergencies. But I'm privileged to announce that this hour's guest speakers will be members of the American Legion Post 100. I've spent a lot of time with the American Legion. I've had the opportunity to spend the first Saturday of every month eating breakfast with them. The American Legion is doing a great job at giving back to the veterans who have given so much to this country. The project that they're working on is Operation Reboot, where they furnish household goods to veterans in need. The motto is giving veterans a hand up. Please give a warm Har-Ber welcome to the commander of the American Legion Post 100, Barbara Gary, Bill Freeman, Gene Peevler, Mark Maddox, and Bill Berry. Thank you.
Thank you very much. These are members of my organization, the American Legion. We're one of the largest veterans groups. It is the largest group of veterans in the world, 2.5 million members. To be a member of the American Legion, you had to have served during a time of war. It may not have, it was either armed conflict. So most of my guys here are Vietnam vets. They're up here with us now. I was in during the Grenada-Lebanon conflict, so that's the reason I could join. I served 6 years in the Air Force. But what I'm most proud about is what our Legion is doing to help veterans today. The VA estimates there's 100,000 homeless veterans now. And I don't know if some of you may realize what it's like to be homeless, but I see the face of homelessness every day with the veterans that come in to ask for assistance. So the VA helps them get into an apartment, helps pay the rent, so they can get their life back on track. But if you're homeless, you don't carry your bed on your back. You don't carry your pots and pans. So what we do is that through donations, we furnish household goods for them. We do pots and pans, beds. We helped a female Air Force veteran. She had 4 kids. I walked in her apartment. She had a 13-inch TV sitting on the floor and blankets for the kids to sleep in. That was it in the entire apartment, and her purse. That was it. When we left, she had a bed for every kid. She had a bike for every kid. She had pots and pans. She had sheets, towels, dishes. She had everything to start her life again. She came by our trailer, which we have behind our post, and last week she picked up a Christmas tree. It was her first Christmas tree in 2 years because they had been in homeless shelters. So it makes me feel proud to do that. And everybody goes, well, where do you get your stuff? Well, people donate it. When I was down at the VA, a guy called in and what got me started, and he asked the VA rep if they had a pot because he had been borrowing his neighbor's cooking pot for 2 weeks. And I thought, everybody's got extra stuff at home. They got extra blankets, maybe sheets, pillows, pots and pans. So I came back to my bingo, which we have every Thursday night, and I asked the ladies there. The next week I couldn't get in my office. I had so much stuff. And people want to give, and they want to help. But you have to know that even as a high school student, you can do stuff. You can come and help us. We deliver furniture on the weekends. We'd love to have some young, strong guys do it, because when you're lugging that stuff up the stairs, it gets heavy pretty quick. And I want you to realize that we're veterans every day. It's very nice of you to celebrate us today, but I want you to understand that I'm not a veteran today. I'm one 365 days out of the year. And I'm not asking for your pity. I'm not asking anything other than your respect. That's it. Because what I did freely. I wasn't drafted. I got out of high school, went to college. College, it just didn't work for me, so I joined the service. And I got to see the world. I've been in, I think I was in 10 different countries while I was in the service. And it's nice. It's nice seeing how other people live. It's nice seeing how wonderful we have it here. How absolutely wonderful. Because if you want, you can go out and get a job where you want, take your money, you can spend it on your girlfriend, you can buy clothes with it, you can do whatever you want. I've been in countries where you don't do that. Every dollar that the kid makes, it goes to help support the family. They don't get that opportunity. So I know what I fought for. I know exactly what I fought for. And I'm going to let my other guys talk, and I've told them to be nice, okay? So they're going to talk nice to you, I promise, okay? So, because some of the stories, I'm not going to let them tell you. You'll have to grow up a little bit, and then you can. But these guys I'm really proud to serve with. I've been at the post now for 6 years. Gene, how long you been in?
12.
Gene, 12. Mark? 7 years. Bill? Bill?
6, I guess.
So we've been in a long time serving. And this is Bill Freeman. He's my first vice commander. He's also the commander of the SAL, which is the Sons of the American Legion, which most of you can join because you probably have a grandparent or a father or a mother that was in the service. You can join the Sons of the American Legion. And they do our the interaction we have with family and children events.
Good morning. My name is Bill Freeman. I am the vice commander of Post 100 American Legion. The only thing I wanted to talk about today, so that everybody understands the difference between Veterans Day and Memorial Day. I don't know if most people know that, but there is a difference, and it's a significant difference. The main difference is that Veterans Day is for veterans. If you have served 1 day of active duty in the military, you're a veteran. Even if you're still on active duty, you're a veteran. That's the day veterans are honored as Veterans Day. Memorial Day is set aside for the veterans that are no longer with us that have served. And that's the difference between those two holidays. And I guess that's the only thing I wanted to talk about, and make sure everybody knew there was a difference in those.
Excuse me. Good afternoon. I'm Gene Peevler. I was in the U.S. Army from 1962 to 1965, the beginning of the Vietnam War. I've got a couple of things I'd like to mention to you. First of all, Post 100 is one of the very few honor guards in Northwest Arkansas. In 1 year, I think we did 125 honor guards for veterans who had passed away. These are Second World War veterans, Korean War veterans, Vietnam veterans, and Iraqi freedom veterans. We've done as many as 7 in 1 week, 3 in 1 day. In fact, about 2 weeks ago, in an 8-day period, we did 8 honor guards, 3 on 1 day. We also had what we call tour aid, which is we take the state commander around to all the posts in Northwest Arkansas. That covered 2 days. And the same honor guard team also helped out with 2 nights of bingo. Got up the next morning and went back out on an honor guard. These men put in a lot of hours. The weapons we use are World War II M1s. Most of them are older than the men that are carrying them. The guns are probably about 75 years old. At the same time, I'd like to also mention the video that was shown just when you started. Several of our members, one Mr. Alan Baker, one of the first men that spoke, was a beloved member of our post. We lost him about 2 weeks ago. He was 93 years old. Most of you don't know what the Battle of the Bulge was, but you can Google it and find out. He was also at the Bridge of Remagen. You can find out what that was. I won't go into it. But they were extremely hard, rough, very violent actions during the Second World War. The second one was Dr. Jesse Coker. Dr. Coker was in the Philippines during the Second World War. The man distinguished himself by getting a battlefield commission presented to him by General Douglas MacArthur. Jesse was wounded just towards the end of the war, never had a homecoming, and we finally gave him one when he went on his honor flight. Was it last year, Barb? These men never say a word. Jesse's written 2 books. I've read one of them. There were some parts in it as I was reading it. I had to put the book down, get up, and walk away. He's a very quiet, very quiet individual man, but he'll sit and talk to you all day if you'd like to talk to him. He's really somebody that's very interesting to talk to. Also, along these same lines, some other men that have meant a lot to me in my life. I did serve for 3 years. The last battalion I was in, we practiced getting ready to go anywhere in the world in 72 hours. Right after I got out of the service in March of '65, the whole battalion was sent to Vietnam. I missed it by a couple of months. I think I lucked out. Another member, my uncle, will be going on an honor flight this weekend. He was a pilot during the Second World War, and he flew in the Berlin airlift. You always hear about these men flew their planes right in with no trouble. He said that's a lie because there were snipers all over the place. There were still Nazi sympathizers going on. And the last one was my father. He was in the Second World War. He was in England, France, and Germany. And naturally, I knew the man, but he never talked about anything that happened to him during the Second World War. These men never talk about it. They'll sit and talk to you if you want to talk to them and are serious about finding out what's going on, but they will not just sit down and talk about it. They were there. They don't have to discuss it because they lived it. They were there. Thank you.
I'm Mark Maddox, and I said I wasn't going to talk, but having been a teacher and an educational administrator, I can't shut up. You know how your teachers are, right? Okay. What I wanted to say was, Bill made a comment about if you served 1 day of active duty. You know, each and every one of us signed a blank check for an amount up to and including your life. And you did whatever your country told you to do. much like Gene. I was in the United States Army Reserve from 62 to 69. And our unit was a construction support company. There were only 3 in the United States. And we were all on what was called selective reserve status, which meant that we met and trained half again as much as any other reserve unit, because we were the first that were going to be called out. We didn't know which unit. I was fortunate. It was not my unit, but we were within 48 hours of being called. And that's the way some of your folks may have been. That's the way many, many veterans served. And the thing I like about the American Legion is we're still serving. Thank you.
I don't really have anything to say. My name's Bill Berry of Rogers. I'm a veteran. I'm also a member of the SAL, Sons of the American Legion. I was in the Navy for 4 years, but as a member of the SAL, I can become a member of the Honor Guard and go to these Honor Guard events representing Post 100. You can be a member of the SAL if your father, your grandfather, or your great-grandfather was a veteran. And if I would maybe say something else, I'd say that I had 3 children. They were 3 boys. All 3 of them enlisted in the U.S. Army, even though I was in the Navy. And one died in the service. He's buried at the National Cemetery in Fayetteville. And when we do honor guards there, I can see my son's entombment there, the monument. And it makes me feel proud because I remember before he died, he told me, "Dad, I'm glad to be able to do what I'm able to do."
They always give the microphone back to me because I'm never at a loss for words. And sometimes they get tired of listening to me. But I want to know if any of you had any questions to ask us. We have Air Force, Navy, Army, and Navy. The only thing we don't have up here is the Marine. And we like the Marines because when the Marines come, they're the ones who help with our honor guard and call the cadence for us. Because when I was in the Air Force, I handled a weapon once. In basic training, they handed me an M16, said, "Shoot at that target." I shot the target. They said, "Give it back." I gave it back. That was it. Okay? No more. Not everybody in the Air Force is a pilot, and not everybody that's in the Marines or the Army is a sniper. I mean, they have every job you can imagine in the service, from cooks to drivers to nurses, to everything. Teachers. Bill was a teacher when he was in. So everything you can imagine. Are some of you thinking about enlisting when you get out of this couple? So, and it was something I kind of thought about when I was in high school, but then I got to college and I was working 40 hours a week and going to school, and that was really tough. And I thought I can do something more than this, so I joined the Air Force, and they stick me in class for another year. But at least I was getting paid, so that was okay. But I worked on F-16s. The guy that was right in front of us that was talking, he got to fly them at Luke Air Force Base. He really liked them because F-16s are a really maneuverable plane. We used to have them down in Fort Smith, and they're a really good fighter. So, no questions? I can keep going, guys. There we go. Yeah, I do, and our website is American Legion Post 100, and my phone number, I'll give it, it's 640-2108, and I've spoken, this is the 4th, I think, event I've spoken at, and I've given out about 150 of my cards. I don't have any more of them with me, but Robert, the guy that that is helping with this, set up the event. He knows all about us. He knows how to get in touch with us. We would love to have you. We have breakfast the first Saturday of the month. With that, we buy equipment. The equipment that these guys have, they buy their own pants and their shirt. We give them the jackets they have. They came out, and if you see over here, there's silver helmets there and the weapons. Those weapons that are leaning up against there, $800. Okay, Daisy donated a couple of them to us. These are ceremonial rifles. The helmets were, what, $45 a piece? So at the Saturday morning breakfast, we raise money for the Honor Guard. On Thursday night, when we have bingo, that helps the veterans in need in our local community. We're the only American Legion post that gives out funds to veterans. I've helped veterans pay rent. I've bought their phones. I have paid car insurance. Anything. We fix cars. I drove a guy yesterday over to Tulsa. He's starting a school over there, in school, aeronautics school there. So in a year, he'll be able to help himself. And that's what we want. We want to help people get back on their feet. It's tough. When you get out, sometimes you get in a structure in the military. They tell you when to get up. They tell you when to eat. They tell you when to go to the bathroom. And they also tell you when to go to sleep, okay? And when you get out, sometimes it's tough to get back into society because you're so used to someone telling you what to do every minute of the day. And so sometimes they turn to drugs and alcohol for things they've seen, whatever reason it is. And we help them get footing back in the world now. That's what we do. And I know sitting at us, you're thinking, oh, these are a bunch of old people. They don't know what the heck's going on. And I guarantee you, I see somebody that looks like you every day across the table from me asking me for assistance. Every day I see it. So we are very relevant today. And the American Legion is still kind of a sexist organization. We have the Sons of the American Legion, which Bill and Bill are both in, and then we have an auxiliary. But there's a junior auxiliary too. If you're under 18, you can join the auxiliary. We do stuff at the VA the Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday after Thanksgiving this year. We'll be at the VA. I'll help. I'm a dual member. I'm a member of the auxiliary too. We'll set up a gift shop for the VA, for the guys that are in the hospital there. They'll come down and get gifts for their family free of charge. I always need help setting up the Saturday prior. If you want to help carry boxes, I'd love to see you. Those stairs get really old after you've been up and down them about 15 times. But last year we helped 170 families give gifts to their family. So that's wonderful. Last year was the first time I had more grandparents. A lot of grandparents got custody of their kids, so they come in and got gifts for their grandchildren. But there's something going on all the time at the Legion that you can get involved in. The Springdale Legion is just now kind of getting on its feet and starting to get a little bit more involved. Our American Legion was one of the original American Legions. We started in 1919, and we've been very busy these past 2 years. Any more questions? One of the things that we do is assist veterans in need, not just with money, but we had a Vietnam veteran. His name is Larry, and he was a combat medic. And what he did was, if you were injured, he helped undress you and took care of your valuables and put them in pouches so that after you had surgery, then you got back your ID and whatever else you had with him. Because he did that, these guys were getting hurt and covered in Agent Orange. Well, so Larry was completely just saturated in Agent Orange every day. Because of that, he has Parkinson's disease. And it's the kind of Parkinson's that freezes you. And he is frozen. He's got these 3 fingers, and he can nod his head, he can give you a thumbs up, and he can move his legs on and off his wheelchair. But what he wanted was a flag outside of his new house. So we had a flagpole donated. We donated a flag, and we went out and put it up for Larry. And our chaplain, who's not here with us today, sang America while we were raising the flag for him. And Larry was in his wheelchair, and he was trying to give us a thumbs up, but he was crying because this was the first time. Because all his friends had deserted him. No one, since they can't talk to him, no one knows how to get any feedback from him. He can spell out letters on a board, but it takes a while. But the look on his face when we raised that flag, that was awesome. And then he also comes to our meetings, and we just give him a real hard time when he's there. But he's one of us, and that's the way we'll treat him. We don't care. If you're in a wheelchair when you come in, we don't care. You're on crutches, a cane, it doesn't matter. So we accept you. Anybody else got anything to say?
We'd like to thank the American Legion 100 for being flexible and really helping us with this hour. And at this time, we'd like to present them with a plaque in recognition for their outstanding service to our country and their commitment to the education of students. We honor and thank them for their service and for taking the time to share their military experience. Also, the plaque we're giving them is in recognition of their Operation Reboot program. It's an organization started by American Legion Post 100, District 1 of Arkansas, supplying household goods and assistance to veterans in the surrounding areas. The VA's calculated there are over 100,000 homeless veterans in America. According to their breakdown, we have 50 to 60 in Benton County and twice that in Washington County. The VA is helping through the HUD/VASH program with providing rental assistance to needy veterans. Operation Reboot provides items that make a home. The program has completely furnished over 15 homes and provided other veterans with bikes and other items. The program has helped Korean, Vietnam, Cold War veterans, and the veterans from today's wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, as well as single moms and dads, single men, and families. To accept the award is Barbara Gary, Commander of District 1 and Post 100. The plaque states, in recognition for your organization's outstanding commitment to providing assistance to veterans, we thank you for making a profound difference in the lives of these outstanding military servicemen and women. Thank you for all you do. Also, on behalf of East at Har-Ber High, student body, and staff, we want to recognize any veterans and all military men and women in the audience that have served or are presently serving. Please remain standing until a certificate has been given to you. Thank you for your service. This concludes this class period of Hour with the Hero. We hope you join us next hour and next year as we honor further veterans.